I'm going to discuss one of the topics in geometry, which is all about the altitude and hypotenuse theorem. So when we talk about altitude and hypotenuse theorem, according to the right triangle, altitude theorem or altitude and hypotenuse is equal to geometric mean of line segments which form by the altitude and the hypotenuse. Let's try this problem. Here's the illustration. First, let's define some variables. X is the distance between A and D, and Y is between D and B. Now opposite to angle A is side A, and opposite to angle B is side B, and opposite to angle C is side C. Now h is the length of the altitude, so the altitude is on the hypotenuse of the triangle ABC. So now that we have everything, let's start by calculating the segment CD. So segment CD is basically h. Now what formula to do in order to calculate h? H is the geometric mean between x and y. To calculate the geometric mean, take the square root of the product of two numbers. H is the square root of x times y, equal to square root of 10, which is the value of x, multiplied to 5, which is the value of y, is equal to square root of 50. So square root of 50 is equal to square root of 25 and square root of 2. So we already know that square root of 25 is 5. So h is equal to 5 and square root of 2. And now let's try to prove the segments, or basically the segment proofs. So we have the segments with the points, the A, B, C, and D. And given that segment AB is congruent to segment CD, our task is to prove that segment AC is congruent to segment BD. Let's create two columns, the statements and the reasons. The first thing to write is the given. So the first statement is segment AB is congruent to segment CD. The reason is given. If segment AB is congruent to segment CD, then in mathematically speaking, we can say that the next statement is AB is equal to CD. The reasons is the definition of congruent segments. So we try to prove that AC is congruent to BD. We know that AB is equal to CD. The only missing is BC. The third statement is BC is equal to BC. The reason is reflexive property. So we're gonna add the statements 2 and 3 in order to get the statement 4. By adding the statements 2 and 3, so this is the statement 4. AB plus BC is equal to BC plus CD. So the reason is addition property. In fifth statement is AB plus BC equal to AC, as what the illustration shown. And another statement 5 is BC plus CD is equal to BD. The reason is segment addition postulate. The sixth statement would be based on statement 4 by replacing the segments. AC is equal to BD. The reason is substitution property. So the last statement is the segments that we prove. So the reason is the definition of congruent segment. So that's how we can prove that these two segments are congruent using two column proofs.